Okay, this is lesson 8 of our STAAR review, writing and solving equations. On my copy it's really hard, but in your book we're going to go over some vocabulary words. A linear equation in one variable may have one solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solutions. A solution to a linear equation is a number that can be substituted in for the variable. Makes the equation true. To solve the equation in one variable, use the properties of inequality to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. So we're going to have an example here. And here's what we're solving for. Okay, they've used algebra tiles in their example. Not my favorite to work with, but it will probably be on the STAAR test. You have 5 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. So there's your 5 x's plus 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to equal to 2 x's plus 9. So you know that's what it's going to look like. And to solve it with the tiles, okay, we're going to have to subtract these 3 tiles, so we cross them out. And that means if we're taking those away, we've got to take 3 away from this side, so cross 3 out on this side. So now we're still left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x equals 2x plus 6, because now we're just down to 6. There's your new formula. I need to take these 2 x's and bring them to this side. So I'm going to take 2 x's off, so you're minus 2x, subtract 2x over here. Take them off. Now we have 3 x's equal 6. I need to divide this side, these 3 x's, by 3, and divide this by 3. So, because you have 6 over here, I don't like the tiles. I want to just solve my problem. Okay, so if you have a problem that has your tiles, just go ahead and solve it out and check and make sure when you have your answer. So we have 5x plus 3 equals 2x plus 9. I always draw a line and I say this is a scale. One of the scales in science that you put things on that keep things level. If you put too much on one side, the other side goes up, and vice versa. Okay, so 5x plus 3 equals 2x plus 9. Okay, oh, they're checking their work. Let's just rewrite it over here. 5x plus 3 equals 2x plus 9. Okay, anytime I'm solving for an equation, I put my line down to remind me to keep it balanced. The very first step is to get my x's to the left-hand side. So I'm going to take my 2x, subtract it because it's positive. I want it to be 0. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. So that's going to leave me with 3x. I want to get my whole numbers on this side. So to make 0 here, I need to subtract 3 to get 0, subtract 3 to get 0. So now I have 3x equals negative 3. Oh, my bad, negative 6. So to divide by 3, because you're going to circle your variable and ask, what is it doing to your number? It's multiplying. So to get it off of the variable, I have to do the opposite, which is to divide. Divide each by 3, x equals 2. Okay, and that is exactly what they got. The solution is x equals 2. More examples that you can practice with. I'm going to start off with number 1, lesson practice. If you are still not understanding it, please go back and look at all the other examples. Okay, so number 1, which equation has a solution that is less than 0? So I need to find the solution that is less than 0. I'm going to have to work all these problems out. Okay, so A, negative 6m equals 2, in parentheses, 3m minus 1. I'm going to distribute. I have negative 6m equals 2 times 3 is 6m minus 2 times 1 is 2. I want to get this 6m to this side. I want to keep it balanced. My m's got to be together. Your variables have got to be together. So subtract 6m to get 0. Subtract 6m over here. That gives me a negative 12m equals negative 2. I need to circle my variable. Ask myself, what is it doing to negative 12? It's multiplying. So I need to divide by negative 12. What I do to this side, I have to do to that side. M equals negative divided by negative, you know, is going to be a positive, and 2 divided by 12 is going to be a repeating fraction, and it's going to be a positive 0.16 repeating. Okay, so is that less than 0? No, it's a positive, but it's small, but it's still more than 0. So it can't be that one. I'm expecting you to have a piece of notebook paper and writing this on your notebook paper and turning it in with your work. So B, we have 15 minus 4z plus 3 equals 12 plus z. I'm going to distribute this negative to inside the parentheses. So it's going to be 15 negative 4z, and remember it's kind of an imaginary 1 there, so negative 1 times 3 is going to be a negative 3. It just changed everything, all the signs, the negative, and that's kind of what the negatives do. Balance it out, draw my line to remind myself to keep it balanced. I want to get my whole numbers together. So 15 minus 3 is 12 minus 4z equals 12 plus z. Probably need to do that. I want my z's on the left-hand side. I do that because if we come into inequalities, it's just easier to plot those if our variable is on the left-hand side. So let's subtract a z from here, subtract a z from here. That's going to make a negative 5z equals, well, I need to get my whole numbers over to the right side. Subtract 12, subtract 12, and I get 0. I still need to divide because there's my variable. It's multiplying. I need to get it off. So that would be 1, and I would be left with z. So divide by a negative 5. And the answer is 0. Okay, is that less than 0? No, so that can't be. Okay, C. we have 4 over 5n equals 1 minus 1/5 n. Okay, so I want to get my 1/5 n to the left-hand side. So if it's a negative, I want to add 1/5 n, add 1/5 n. And they have the same denominator, so 1 plus 4 is 5 over 5n, which becomes 1n. And that's going to equal, bring your 1 down, so actually n equals 1. And is that less than 0? No. So let's look at D. 5d plus 2 equals 3d minus 6. 5d, we're going to distribute, and then distribute again, plus 5 times 2 is 10 equals, distribute, 3d minus 18. Okay, I want to keep things balanced, so to help me remember that, I draw my line. I want to get my variables to the left-hand side, so let's subtract 3d, that gives me 2d. I want to get my whole numbers to the other side, so it's minus 10, minus 10. So that's going to equal a negative 28. So my next step, 2d equals negative 28, is divide by 2, divide by 2. That becomes 1, which is d equals. And then you have negative 28 divided by 2 is going to become a negative 14. And negative 14 is less than 0. Wasn't hard, but it took a little while to do that. Number 2. Jamal is shopping for a custom sweatshirt for the school soccer team. Sweatco charges $12.50 per shirt, plus, there's your plus, and this is your per. Anytime you see per or each, you know that's going to be a $12.50x. Per or each, you're going to always multiply. But then you're going to have a plus here because it says plus a setup fee of $16. I'm just writing things as I read them. Okay, and that is Shirtco, my bad, Shirtco. This one's going to be Sport Mart. He charges $14 per shirt. So $14 per shirt. There is no setup fee. Jamal has a coupon for $5 off the total cost at SportSmart. So a coupon of $5 off is going to be a negative 5. So we're going to do a negative 5 there. Which equation can Jamal use to find the number of shirts S for which the total cost is the same in both stores? Okay, so since we went ahead and wrote it out as we read it, it's going to be pretty easy, except for my X's is going to be an S for shirts. So 1250S plus 16 equals 14S minus 5. Well, there's your answer. And all we did was write it down as we read it. Okay, number 3. Which equation has no solution? Okay, so A. This is something you may want to go back and look at the notes in this packet. So let's go ahead and finish this one. 8y plus 11 equals 6y plus 11. Okay, let's solve for y. Remember, variables go here. minus 6y minus 6y, 2y, and then I want to get rid of my 11 and send it this way, so it's positive. I have to subtract to get 0, keep it balanced. So 2y equals 11 minus 11 is 0. I need to get 2 off of y. Oops, sorry, can't see it. Divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals 0. Okay, so that's a solution, y equals 0. Let's do B. That's A, B. If you need to do it on notebook paper, go ahead since we already started it anyway with number 1. We have 10x minus 1 equals 10x plus 4. I want to draw my line. I want to get my variables over here together. So subtract 10x, subtract 10x. Well, if I do that, I have no x's. Okay. If I add 1 here and I add 1 here, I've got 0 equals 5. That is no solution. I have no x's left, and 0 cannot equal 5. So your answer is B. Number 4. Which is correct model for the equation 6 plus 2c equals 3 in parentheses c plus 1? What you're going to need to do to match this model is do your distributive property. 6 plus 2x. So this shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. So I can already tell you that A is not correct. Let's go ahead and rewrite it out here. 6 plus 2c equals 3 distributed would be 3c plus 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so we already know that this is not 6x, so 6x is over here. B, we're looking for 2c's, which is also can be written as x since we're in the model here. So 2x and 6 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So far that side works. We have 3x, 1, 2, 3, and 3 ones, 1, 2, 3. So that one works. Your answer is going to be B. Number 5. Liam is solving the equation. Each step of his solution is shown below. In which step does Liam's first error occur? So let's just solve the problem. 4 times 5 is 20, so 20a, negative 20a, that's correct. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4, so far so good. Distribute, 2 times 3a is 6a, 2 times 6 is plus 12, minus 4a. So far so good. It's not step 2. Then we're going to have to add our a's up. So a 12a minus 20a is going to leave us with negative 8a plus 4, and then a negative 4a and a 6a is going to become 2a plus 12. So far that one works. So here we're going to subtract, draw my line, 2a to get it over here. Subtract 2a. 8a, negative 8a minus 2a is not 6a. So there's their mistake right here. Okay, so it's step 4. Number 6. Emma substitutes 3 for x in a one variable linear equation and finds that it makes the equation true. She then substitutes 5 for x in the same linear equation and finds that 5 also makes the equation true. What can you conclude about the number of solutions of the equation? So they're saying 3 can equal x, 5 can equal x. So what can we conclude about the equation? There are no solutions. Well, that's not true because it told us we already had 2. There is exactly 1 solution? No. There's exactly 2 solutions. They didn't tell us that these were the only 2 solutions. So there are infinitely many solutions because those are pretty random numbers, and if those work, I'm pretty sure that if we plugged another number in for x, it's going to work. Infinite many solutions, D. Make sure you're circling your answers. Just because I'm not circling, make sure you're circling. Number 7. The table shows the prices of some types of fish at a pet store. Okay, we have catfish at $4. I have no idea what that one is at $1.50. Guppies at $1.75, and a tetra at $2.25. So let's write our equation with what Nick buys. Nick buys 4 goldfish and 2 tetras. Well, as you notice, there's no goldfish in our chart. So we're going to put 4x there. Okay, so goldfish equals x. So 4x plus 2 tetras. Tetras are 125. 225. So that's how much he buys. Latona buys 3 goldfish and 5 guppies. They each pay the same amount. So they're going to equal each other because they pay the same amount. So Latonia buys 3 goldfish. And remember, goldfish is going to stand for x. So 3x and 5 guppies. So guppies plus 5 times 1.75. Okay. So let's solve the equation. You're going to have to distribute 4x plus 450 equals 3x plus, and then 5 times that is going to be 875, I believe. I want to get my variables on the left-hand side. So that's going to leave me with 1x. I want to subtract 450, and that's going to give me 425. And there's your answer. Number 8. Which equation has infinitely many solutions? Okay, so we have distribute. That would be 12n minus 4 times the -1 is -4. 2n plus 10n minus 4. So if we simplify that, that would be 12n minus 4 equals 2 plus 10 is 12n minus 4. So because they equal each other, this one will have infinitely many solutions. Your answer is A. Okay, time has ran out for me. So there's a few more you can do by yourself, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you have any questions, let me know.